Would you be comfortable, now you're involved with these tiles, would you be comfortable leaving, say, next week on this? Be honest now. Now, I want an honest, Doc, give me an honest appraisal. Would you feel comfortable knowing that these things, you've had a problem with them, and I know they're supposed to be fixed now. But if they come off, if even one or two come off,
they're not coming off.
There's going to be a problem, right? Did you use Elmer's glue on these like they could? No, you'd go then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've got some of these applications of the space-age technology in modern clothing and so forth, and rather than try to rush over there quickly and show it in 45 seconds or a minute, if you can come back, we can do it, right?
Sure.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Dr. Lawrence Kuznets. Well, this timing worked out real well, because this morning, as you well know, and those of you who saw it on television, they test-fired the shuttle for the first time, and I imagine people were a little bit worried, were they not? Because if that had not worked, you've got to admit, if something would have happened or that would have fallen over, or the engines would not have fired, it's been delayed
2.5 years.
2.5 years anyway. That would have been another setback, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we feel pretty confident in the engines now. It's been, this is the last major test before launch, and those engines are very amazing.
How big are they? What kind of horsepower? Or is
they have the power of 23 Hoover Dams, 200 Queen Marys. One of the pumps for the engines develops 85,000 horsepower and fits in a bread box.
That's just the pump?
That's just the pump. Horsepower is about 7 million horsepower in each engine, each of the three.
Good Lord. And they worked this morning.
They worked.
How long will those fire now when they take off? You had a 17 seconds. It was supposed to be about 20, but I think it was about 17 seconds this morning.
It's 580 seconds is a nominal
that's when they,
firing.
Then they cut off, and by that time it should be in orbit.
Right.
Okay, that's scheduled for when?
April 17th.
April 17th. Okay, now last night, we did not get a chance to get to this part of the...
Once the problems were discovered, Rockwell had to retest all of the tiles, take off thousands of them that failed, make new ones, reapply them, and test them. All of this was very costly and time-consuming. The tiles became the main cause of launch delay. In an effort to make up for some of the lost time, work went on virtually around the clock. Last July, NASA tile supervisor Larry Kuznets described the overwhelming task before him.
Well, basically, we've got a giant jigsaw puzzle. Every piece is different. Every piece has a different history. It's like a giant beehive, and everybody has to know what the other person is doing. The enormity of the problem is obvious. It's kind of like Michelangelo doing the Sistine Chapel while being blind, and only with 1,200 people, and we got to keep them out of each other's way.
Who the hell was the engineer on this?
For the fragile tiles, there seems to be an infinite variety of potential problems.
He didn't even put his name. Grove, J. Grove.
Yeah, he'd find it back here.
Well, yeah, I'll have to take this one back to him because hairline cracks are not acceptable on a black tile.
You can see it here.
Turns out there are acceptable cracks and unacceptable cracks, depending on the thickness of the tile.
This particular crack would not be acceptable if that tile was thinner than 1.6 inches.
That's correct.
We would have to institute a special repair, which is tough on a black tile.
Yeah.